So I came across this scrolling through Facebook this morning.
From the fearless and unapologetic left, when you see someone mention liberal and leftist gun owners, you'll also see MAGA fascists freak the F out every single time. The reason? They're terrified. But they can't admit that outright, so instead they minimize what they're seeing. They'll create an entire reality where trained, experienced, knowledgeable gun owners on the left simply do not exist.
Now I'm not here today in any way challenge these folks to a fight. Although that's very much what they would like, and well, truthfully, they've already started. But like I said, that's not the point. I want to I want to respond to the delusion and projection of these people, which is something that I very much like to point out on a very regular basis if you haven't noticed. The constant idea that we on the right, or not on the left rather, are constantly living in delusion, creating these false realities to somehow comfort us, when the fact of the matter is that is the left to a T. I mean, they are the people, after all, that can never engage in a good faith argument. They are the people, after all, who always devolve to ad hominem attacks and just, the most childish, juvenile insults instead of actually arguing their point. Their answer to everything is, you're a racist. It's never a salient argument. But to this first point, I want to state, sir, ma'am, whoever you are over at this Facebook page writing this out, we watched you make a college effort on the president's life last year on live TV. And then in September, everyone across the world within an hour of it happening saw footage of you eliminating Charlie Kirk with a firearm. So the idea that, conservatives, they aren't afraid, they can't admit that they're afraid. No, actually, we are. We're afraid that you people have lost your minds and that you can no longer be reasoned with. We are afraid that we are going to have to defend ourselves. And that's the thing that they don't seem to get. They want to be like, oh, you're fear-mongering. We watched you kill multiple people in opposition to you, and then watch the rest that didn't participate cheer like Christmas had come early. So yeah, I'm afraid of what you nut job leftists might do next. The difference is I'm prepared, and I didn't just start preparing. I've been prepared for years and years and years. And so has most of the right.
Quote, they don't even know what the AR stands for in AR-15. Quote, they'll end up shooting themselves in the foot. Quote, running around with tactical dildos. Quote, they couldn't hit the side of a barn. Put simply, they need to believe that the left has an inherent inability to become proficient with firearms. Of course, they must know that this is untrue. Somewhere deep inside their smooth and drug-addled brains, they must know.
First things first, that projection there at the end about smooth drug-addled brains. Last I checked, it's all liberal municipalities that are decriminalizing drugs and have needles laying all throughout their streets, endangering the public from whatever, maybe on those needles or within those needles. But on top of that, well, what's this right here?
From magazine.columbia.edu, why depression rates are higher among liberals. Columbia researchers look at the politics of despair. American adults who identify as politically liberal have long reported lower levels of happiness and psychological well-being than conservatives, a trend that mental health experts suspect is at least partly explained by liberals' tendency to spend more time worrying about stress-inducing topics like racial injustice, income inequality, gun violence, and climate change.
Now, don't get me wrong. If you hadn't guessed, I like to smoke. And, well, just about everybody I know that supports Trump and, ICE and all the things that are happening, they also enjoy smoking. But, beyond that, I spent a lot of time around liberals in my 20s, concerts every week, music festivals. And I know what y'all do, so chill out. But all jokes aside, to the more serious point of, people thinking that, well, all these stereotypes or any of these stereotypes are true, that the left is incapable of, becoming well acquainted, trained with firearms and how to use them. The idea that they are totally inept and incompetent, though it, in many cases, is true, and it may be different today in America with our leftists, considering they generally have poorer health, both mentally and physically, than the right. The fact of the matter is that the bloodiest civil war in human history was the Chinese Civil War, when communists fought to and succeeded in taking over the government of China. Communists have murdered tens of millions, likely more than 100 million, just in the last century alone. So if you are one of these people, you like to joke about it, that's cool. I get it. I do too. I love the memes. Don't get me wrong. But if you truly believe this to be the case, I would implore you, please look at the history. These people consistently have become the most dangerous, destructive possible ideologies, groups within the nations they have gained power consistently over the last 100 years. More destructive than Mustache Man and his folks. So it is not a game, though it may be fun to joke about. These people have proved their intent. They have shown us what they are willing to do to gain power, to retain power. Whether it be locking us in our homes over an illness that isn't actually killing that many people, or it be taking out political and ideological leadership that opposes them. These people are dangerous, and they are only likely to become more dangerous as they gain resolve.
Of course, once they somewhat acknowledge this, then come the fear mongering and threats. Quote, there are more of us. Quote, we own all the guns. Quote, I can hit a rainbow shirt at 100 yards. Because it's not enough for them to create a parallel reality to deal with their own fear, they have to create one where they convince you to be scared. Of course, this reality is nothing more than delusion. They overestimate their own abilities while underestimating or dismissing the abilities of the left outright. I literally saw a MAGA post their target from the range, a 9-inch spread at 7 yards with several outliers, as evidence of how dangerous he was. What did he say about this? Quote, no one is better than me with a firearm other than competition shooters. Do not buy into the reality that MAGA is trying to create. They're scared of an armed left, because if the left is armed, then it's simply two equally equipped sides, except one of those sides is made up of folks with IQ scores of 16 who MAGA wants you to be scared, and thanks to their penchant for violence, there's plenty to fear. But this isn't something you have to sit back and simply accept. Perhaps peace will win the day, but if it does not, then you need to be prepared to protect what you love. MAGA is terrified of an armed left. Let's keep it that way.
And there you have it, folks. Left-wing hypocrisy and projection boiled down into a bitter stew of irony to be served up to the American people, as is, their only menu item. Of course, can't get through their little, mission statement or whatever you want to call it, manifesto, without, calling everyone that disagrees with them pedo defenders. But I love the way that they chose to end this, after calling everyone in opposition to them ignorant, smooth-brained, drug-addled, violent, blah, blah, blah. To then finish it off with the statement of fear, of encouraging fear, of inspiring fear in their fellow American citizens. That's who these people are, and that's who they've always been. They are the spoiled, entitled child that never got taught how to share or accept anything that they don't like, that never got taught to negotiate. They are the ones that will throw the fit and destroy the whole playground, knock down the Lego set in class because they didn't get to play with the Hot Wheels car that they wanted to play with that day. This man or woman, whoever it may be, this leftist, let's say, is outright telling us what they want is for their opposition to be afraid. Their entire project is a project of terror, while they call us violent and they call themselves accepting and intelligent and kind. Fact of the matter is, they are none of these things. The fact of the matter is, these are all gaslighting techniques to try and convince people that they're wrong, and I ain't having it.